What's up, guys? My name is Zack, and today I am driving a 1993 Honda Accord station wagon. Up front is a 2.2-liter inline-4, and down below is a 5-speed manual transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this CB9 Accord because it is incredibly rare. Not only is it a wagon, which was rare as it is, but it has the red interior and a stick shift. So, if you want to talk about rare 90s Accords, well, you're looking at one. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. But let's get back to that 2.2-liter inline-4 known as the F22. Incredibly reliable. Incredibly stout for what it is. And what I mean by that is it just feels solid. It just works really, really well. And that's all I want from this Accord wagon. Is it gonna show any blistering numbers at the dragway? No. Are you gonna carve a canyon and leave your child crying in the back seat? No. But this has 246,000 miles on it and is still ticking like a Swiss watch and is happy to do so. Like I said, paired to it, 5-speed manual transmission. Finding manual wagons is hard enough. This is the 5-speed, and even up at that mileage, it feels wonderful. It shifts wonderfully. And it's a Honda. It's exactly how you want it to drive. Last but not least, of course, the Accord wagon is front-wheel drive. You may change the body, but you can't change the heart, so Honda sticks with front-wheel drive. How does it feel to drive the Honda Accord wagon? Well, it drives like any other 90s Honda product. There is a sort of lightness to it, a little bit of athleticism, if you will. Now, on the flip side, that does mean that it has a lot less crash protection, but there is a somewhat agility when it comes to these cars. It's like how every little kid is pretty athletic, at least for a little while, and then you discover the Halo franchise and Doritos and Code Red Mountain Dew, and then the athleticism kind of falls by the wayside. But it has that feeling to it. Visibility's wonderful, a holdover from the 80s, the thin A-pillars. Steering is nice and direct, it's not automated or electronic, and that's what I love. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 3 main gauges. Off to the left is my tachometer, in the center is my speedometer, and off to the right is my fuel and coolant temperature. On the steering wheel, I have my horn buttons and cruise control. That's it. Off to the left, we do have a climate control vent and a pull-out coin holder. And moving out of the door, we have our power mirrors, power locks, and power windows. Moving into the center, up at the top, we actually do have a digital clock. Very nice to see here, especially in a vehicle that wasn't the priciest at the time. And then down below that, we have our 2 climate control vents, hazard switch, rear defrost, our climate controls, and our Honda radio all together here. Looks very presentable. This is the original Honda radio, which is always lovely to see as well. Then we do have a cubby, an ashtray where a cigarette lighter would be, and our pull-out cup holders. So we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the CB9 Accord wagon, and unfortunately, yet predictably, it fails the big friggin' bottle test. Then we have the manual shifter. Absolutely lovely to see this here. So cool. Looks fine. I don't think it looks super handsome or anything like that, but I love the fact that it is a manual, and so I will sing this shifter's praises every moment I can. We then have the parking brake and the seats. As you can tell, the seats are burgundy, which is a big drawing point for me towards this particular car, and I love the look of it. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the CB9 Accord, and a couple of things to note. First of all, knee room is not very good, but headroom is decent. For a smaller car from the 90s, this was pretty run-of-the-mill. Back seats were not as spacious in the 90s in this segment as they were previously. And honestly, even in luxury cars, they got a lot smaller. It wasn't like the 70s, and it's not like now. So there's kind of a middle ground for back seat space, and not a very spacious middle ground for back seat space. Said space way too many times. NASA's gonna call me. Over overall, though, maroon back here. Maroon 5, they call it. And I love that. Now, you'll notice that these headrests are off the seats, and I'll explain why when we talk about the trunk. Right around the back of the CB9 Accord, pull it up like that, and this is the big drawing point to the CB9. You get so much room. So much room. Now, this does have double wishbone rear suspension, so you do get a decent amount of suspension poke into the cabin, but as I said, those headrests are off the seats. That's because you can actually pull the bottom of the seat forward and then lay the back part flat with the headrests off, and it creates a completely flat ground, as you're seeing now with some iPhone footage. So, very, very cool to see all of that. And you could get a privacy cover, very cool, but something very funny and very Accord. If you got to change out your rear light bulb, there it is. It's right there. Super, super simple. Absolutely love that, and love the cargo space of the Honda Accord wagon from 1993. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I've always loved the look of the CB7/CB9 Accord. So if it's a sedan or coupe, it's a CB7. If it's a wagon, it's the CB9. That's just the chassis code, neither here nor there. I've always loved the look of it because I think it's very simple. It's very direct, it's very to the point, but it's not overstyled. It's not trying to be this big, aggressive, asphalt-eating monster. It's just a little, simple Accord, and that's awesome. It's not trying to be anything it's not, when many cars, even back in the 90s, were trying hard to be. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving a CB9 for the very first time? Well, I've driven a CB7. I don't want it to seem like this is a completely new experience for me, but I like it a lot. This car does everything I want it to do. This might be one of the most perfect 90s Hondas ever made, and that's already starting off on a pedestal. The shifter, wonderful. The engine, reliable. The rear end, spacious. The driver, bodega. Interior is fashionable. It does everything I want a car to do. This is one of the most perfect average cars in the world. No, it's not the fastest. No, it's not, the best handling or whatever. But in terms of a car, when you need a car to do a thing, what can't this car do? And that's what I love. And beyond all of that, it's simple in the way that it does everything. It's a Swiss Army knife with 2 moving parts, but that's it. That's all you need. The more I talk about this, the more I fall in love with the CB9, and it's just not good for my health to keep falling in love with these older Hondas, because one of these days, I'm going to wake up and stumble myself into purchasing one, and my bank account just can't handle that right now. So here today, I'm just going to give you some nice glamour shots of this CB9, and hopefully it ignites the same fire inside of you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Brody for not only letting me take out his CB9, but actually bringing it to me in order to review his CB9. I very, very much appreciate his road trip for the review. Brody has been absolutely awesome to work with, and I appreciate him very, very much. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.